Oh, there you go, Frankie. And we are off to the races. Combined field start for both your UCI Elite women and U23 women athletes taking to this purpose-built race course here at beautiful Centennial Park, Fayetteville, Arkansas. For those tuning in at home on InsiderMTB.com, thanks for joining us. My name is Brandon Pack. With me in the booth, Frankie Andreu. Frankie, always good to have you here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Glad to be here. It's my, my fourth year coming back here, and it's always challenging. A little bit windy, a little bit cold, but always excellent bike racing.
Yeah, current race temperature about 49 degrees. We haven't seen 50 degrees yet. Feels about 44, but you see the sun is shining on the race course here today. Again, we've been wrecked with weather this week as winds up to 50 miles per hour really put a damper down on the event production, put a pause in competition this week. But here we are today. We persevered, and we're back to racing at beautiful Centennial Park. Clean start, always good to see. Once again, you're seeing combined fields of both our elite women and our U23 women athletes on the course. A race within a race, if you will.
It is. Excuse me, two different categories out there. Bailey McSpadden winning in California in our under-23 division. And so she's going to be looking to be able to try to double up or to repeat from winning in California and coming back here to be able to try to win here in Fayetteville. Large group right now as they're just going off again. For our women, they are doing one starter lap, which all of them are doing. And then with the two different categories, the elite women are doing 7 laps and our under 23 are doing 6 laps. So we're going to have to keep track of which riders are in which category and how many laps they have to do. Once again, elite women, everybody doing the starter lap, and then when they come through, 7 to go for the elite women, 6 to go for our under 23.
Yeah, currently setting the pace early is Gwendolyn Gibson, track factory racer. We saw her finish 4th 2 weeks ago at round number 1 of the US XCO Open presented by Orange Seal. Other athletes out there in the mix, Jen Jackson, she's back with us. She finished 2nd 2 weeks ago. Really, that was the race of the weekend out in Temecula, California, as her and Kelsey Urban took it down to the wire. National champion versus national champion, Canadian versus American, and in the end, it was Kelsey Urban taking the win there for round number 1. Also with us, love to see Kate Courtney back out there rejoining us. She's on that Allied bike made right here in Arkansas. She's riding the BC40. It's a rowdy cross-country race machine. It's inspired by the Back 40 trail system located right up the road in Bella Vista, Arkansas. You got teammates now setting the pace as Maddie Monroe and Gwendolyn Gibson were both on those Trek Factory rides, now taking folks up about what is half of that experienced Fayetteville Powerline climb. They're just going to see a taste of it in this start loop as they go out and they'll do the shorter start loop just to let them kind of self-select and shake things out before diving in properly to the single track here at Centennial Park.
I like that, self-select. That's exactly what's going to happen. You can see it's already taken. Got about 10 riders separating themselves and 3 more riders just off the back. Got to remain in contact. Super important to be able to stay in contact, especially on this starter lap. Again, the elite women, when they come around, if you're an under 23 woman, you're not really looking around to see what other under 23s are around you. You're just trying to be able to keep up with the leaders. And the young riders nowadays are good enough to be able to exactly do that. So watch out for the strength of these under 23 riders to find themselves in that front group. Leaders are going to be coming through, and they're going to be seeing 7 laps to go. Again, for the U23, they'll be seeing 6 laps to go. Lots of racing still to come here at our U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart. So Gwendolyn Gibson leading them through on the top before they get ready to come through this race. Kate Courtney is right in there as well. Elite women, 7 laps to go. 7 to go for the elite women. Under 23, 6 laps to go. Under 23, 6 laps to go. Elite women, 7 laps to go. Elite women, 7 laps to go. Trying to get on there, Ella McPhee, 2nd here last year, just off the back. And again, that could be maybe not clipping into the pedal at the right opportunity, trying to be able to move up. And so definitely wants to be able to make back as an elite group is starting to separate themselves.
Yeah, pace is picking up here because how critical it is to take that whole shot as they dive down onto the single track for the first time. Jen Jackson, defending champion here from last year, off the front now as she knows how critical it is to dive down into the woods on the front. Good shot of our...
So sorry, I stand corrected. It's 6 and 5 laps to go for our women. I was looking at my men on my cheat sheet. which so our elite women with 6 laps to go as they come through, and our elite women with 5 laps to go. So once they come around, obviously that'll be 1 lap less, and they're all underway right now as we have a huge group again. 40 riders total, a combination of 2 different categories, and immediately we have different riders coming to the front trying to be able to string things out.
Well, and off the front is Jen Jackson, Canadian national champion. She knows how to win here on her wheel. Looks to be Trek Factory racer Gwendolyn Gibson. There is the Red Bull helmet of Kate Courtney out in the mix in the woods early. I saw this 2 weeks ago in California. It was Jen Jackson from the start. She was leading the pace, setting the pace early, really, turning the screws on the entire competition like she's starting to do here now. Race on lap number 1. That lasted till about halfway through the race, and then other athletes were able to get back on terms, and eventually she lost in a 2-up sprint to Kelsey Urban. But I wonder, did she learn some lessons? Has her fitness come into a little bit more form here in Fayetteville? Again, defending champion at this event. She knows how to get it done, Frankie.
Yeah, winning both of the cross-country events last year here in Fayetteville. And we talked about her being a Canadian national champion. Also she's a Pan American gold medalist as well. And so coming off that 3rd place in California, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for her. And it doesn't look like she's waiting around. I mean, kind of, I don't want to say rare, but, to be able to attack it like immediately from the front and trying to be able to see who can stay with it. There's Kate Courtney sitting in 3rd place, and then the rest of the riders, a great job. Gwendolyn Gibson sitting right in there as well. Now, Gwendolyn, you go back to 2023, 2 years ago, she was 2nd in the HC race that was taking place here. And Gibson's coming off a great ride in California, as you had just mentioned. She was 4th in Cali. And so a big competition going on, a big battle as these riders continue to go against each other week in and week out.
Marin Lowe currently setting in 4th there on that Live Factory ride. Look like teammate to Gwendolyn, Maddie Monroe, rounding out the top 5 for your elite women's competition. Is it Jen Jackson leads them into the woods?
All they did right now is just finish their.
Right. So when they come through, it'll be 40.
Yes. You're right. We're all talking the same thing.
We are. All right. Thanks.
Once again, coverage being brought to you live. Compliments of InsiderMTB.com, streamed on YouTube. Compliments of our friends, presenting partner for this weekend's live broadcast, Orange Seal. And for those just tuning in, hey, you like what you see, you like the product. This obviously doesn't happen for free. And if you want to consider throwing a few bucks at the broadcast, welcome to make a little donation. And heck, we'll call you out on the stream like we're going to do right now. I want to thank Alan Morrison, Jessica Offer, and Kelly Kurzewski.
Let me see.
Help me out here, Frankie.
Kurzewski.
There you go.
Kurzewski. Oh, there go your papers. Oh, I got it. Oh, I don't. Wind picking up here is never ending. Temperatures gradually warming up. That sun is out, so it feels good as these riders are able to experience that out on this course. You can remember there's a lot of categories that have raced earlier, so they have torn up the course a little bit. As you can see, that Canadian national champion continues to be able to be on the front as Jennifer Jackson is leading them through. Gwendolyn Gibson sitting in 2nd. Kate Courtney was in 3rd. Oh, and the rider right there, I believe, who started to be able to make a move is Kate Courtney.
Yeah, Kate knows how to win here. I think winning 2 years ago, took a race win here. Exciting to see her back.
She was a winner here in 2023, exactly 2 years ago, picking up the win, and did not come last year, did not come to this event last year, so deciding to be able to come back and see what she can do against some of these riders. A lot of training going in preparation, knowing that these UCI events were coming up, as Kate Courtney now riding her own tempo, sitting in the front. So the 3 riders separating themselves. We have Courtney, Jennifer Jackson, and Gwendolyn Gibson. And then a little bit of a gap. Remember, we're going to have to keep an eye on, and maybe we'll try to point that out when we see him, will be our best under 23. 2 different categories out here racing at the same time. 3 riders right now in our elite women, all starting to separate themselves. And, of course, Kate Courtney, a previous world champion being able to wear those rainbow stripes for an entire year, a huge accomplishment, and that was fun to be able to see and to be able to watch.
Yeah, exciting. Anytime a previous world champion joins us here at the U.S. Pro Cup. Christopher Blevins, former short track world champion and Olympian, also with us this weekend. We'll see him later today, Frankie.
Yeah, we'll see him. Riley Amos, current under 23 short track world champion as well. And not easy getting those rainbow stripes, and so it's good to be able to see these riders continue to be able to do well.
Well, U.S. athletes at that. Anytime a U.S. athlete pulls up rocking the rainbow stripes on their jersey, well, that's why we do it.
Got the A line there and the B line there. You can see different riders coming off on different paths. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Wide through there is Jen Jackson.
Jen Jackson took her wide. That was like a smack at the handlebars without really actually smacking it. And so Kate Courtney had no idea what was going on behind him, but a little bit of a battle there as Gwendolyn Gibson wanted to be able to come by. Gwendolyn Gibson racing for Trek Factory Racing Pirelli, Jennifer Jackson with Orbea Fox Factory Team, and then pretty much a privateer is what Kate Courtney is doing with She Sins Racing in that black jersey.
Yeah, Kate Courtney leaving Scott in the offseason, joining the Allied Cycle Stable. Those bikes made right here in Northwest Arkansas. She's on that BC 40. That's a fun bike to ride. I've had the opportunity to ride one, and those are fun, rowdy cross-country mountain bikes, and so excited to see what she can do on that new steed of hers. And Jen Jackson also on a new ride with Orbea. It's also a new ride for her. Gwen returning on that Trek Factory team.
Yeah, Gwendolyn Gibson, she went to Puerto Rico. She won 5 days down there. That trip to Puerto Rico was extremely successful for Gwendolyn Gibson. Then she went to California where she picked up that 4th place, and so she's got some good form. Also, she last year she was a bronze medalist, 3rd place, getting herself onto the podium at the national championships. And so right now she's sitting just about a second off the back, kind of pacing herself, making sure she can keep up with these two leaders. So we're about to, when they complete this lap number 1, again, when they get out to that field, when they get out to that grass field and that wind is going to start hitting them, they're going to sit up, and that is going to be a good opportunity for the riders that are sitting in 4th and 5th to be able to make up a little bit of time, trying to be able to see how big that gap is, but it seems like it's growing. It looks like it's at least a 15 to 20 second gap. So that's going to be a tough challenge for those riders that are just a little bit further back.
Yeah, we'll get a good idea of this U23 race competition as well. Once those athletes make their way through, we'll be able to see who's setting the pace in that U23 competition and be able to follow along as that race action unfolds as well. But just give us a few minutes and we'll be able to update you on that race. Here they are. They're approaching Arvest Mountain, what is one of the several purpose-built features here at Centennial Park. You'll see they'll approach a rock garden. They'll climb up here. It's got an A and B line. It's got a drop on the right. The riders really get to select, and on the left is a pretty rowdy rock garden that I don't see a lot of folks taking so far today, as they're all pretty confident with this A line. The A line definitely the optimal line for speed. And from there, they hit that Orange Seal speed and style section. You'll see why we call that. They hit that catch berm right there, but then they're shooting straight into these series of cinders. And so these going to catch air right there as you see them gapping over that first. And then a second one, that's going to lead our athletes down to what we call the Dell Descent this weekend, which is, in my opinion, the most technical descent on course this weekend, the way Ty Cady, the race director, has constructed it. Seen it eat a few racers already this week in practice, and so see them approach that section here shortly. There's the banners. That's the Dale banners there, so that tells you they're getting close. And that's the rock garden we're talking about right there. Pretty technical section.
Yeah, previously in our junior race in our pit area, there were definitely some riders going in suffering flat tires. And so it's a very smooth and it's very, very well-maintained course, but you can get over those rocks or hit some, go a little bit outside trying to be able to make a pass. But there was definitely some riders getting flat tires in our junior race having to go in. One rider ended up having 2 flats, ended up hitting the same spot to be able to flat his tire out 2 laps in a row. So that's some awful luck and obviously not going to have a good result. And that's part of being the mountain biking is being able to pick the right line and control your equipment. You can't just go barreling through everywhere because you can't risk getting a flat, because if you get a flat, you lose too much time and you have no chance of trying to be able to pick up those UCI points, which is the main reason that all of these riders are here. Talked about those World Cups that are going to be coming up in April and May right after that. And so if they can pick up some UCI points before they head over to Europe, that'll be a big advantage for them. And, of course, they're thinking a little bit further down the road once we get to our U.S. National Championships. Once again, Like to call our junior men top 5. Junior men top 5 to the podium area. Junior men top 5 to the podium area, please.
There's your current look at your current leaders. Kate Courtney still setting the pace. Jen Jackson setting second. Gwen Gibson in third. And we're about to hit this section. I actually had a moment to speak with Jen Jackson earlier this week during a pre-ride she was doing out here. And the winds actually were coming opposite directions. The winds have completely shifted. The temperatures have dropped, the bottomed out basically. We had a little bit of snow last week even up here at the last night at the venue. But I'm going to tell you, from what was a tailwind finish is now a headwind strong. And so these athletes, when they go over this flyover you're going to see here shortly, they're going to make this right-hand turn and turn straight into what is about a 20-mile-per-hour headwind, Frankie.
Yeah, it'll definitely be some tough course conditions for these riders. And you want to be able to be with a group. You don't want to get stranded. You don't want to be stuck out there by yourself. And so these three riders obviously working very well together. Kate Courtney, this is that windy part out in the field that we were talking about. Looks like she just got a feed, trying to be able to keep hydrated as making her way through, looking very comfortable. And again, 1, 2, and 3 is Kate Courtney, Jennifer Jackson, and Gwendolyn Gibson making their way around. Kate Courtney won here in 2023. Jennifer Jackson won here in 2024. And Gwendolyn Gibson, she actually was second here in the HC race in 2023. So all of them, know this course extremely well, and it's just the only thing that's going to be a little bit different is their fitness, because it's 2025, and the way the wind is kind of wreaking havoc for many of them. As they're going a little bit slower out there, this is the opportunity I was talking about for the different riders to be able to catch back up in the back, because certain times riders do not want to just sit on the front pulling the entire time, and it looks like right now they're playing a little bit of cat and mouse to see who's going to be able to come up to the front. They all look very comfortable. There's those three riders I was talking about. Look at them right there. 4 riders with a great chance to be able to get back up there. Maybe we're going to have an under 23 rider in there as well. Going to have to be able to figure out those numbers once they come across the line. But again, Courtney hitting onto Stonehenge, making her way around as she's the leader with that Red Bull helmet on. The Canadian national champion sitting in second, and then we have Gwendolyn Gibson sitting in third. Attachment's been made. An excellent job by those 4 riders in the back. They saw them in the front right there. So riders, 5 laps to go. Elite women, 5 laps to go. Elite women, 5 laps to go. Under 23, 4 laps to go.
It does look like Maddie Monroe with Trek Factory Racing was able to bridge up and rejoin this lead group, as was Live Factory rider Marin Lowe. I think there was another rider there in the mix as well. It's Bailey McSpadden, I think, possibly. The first U23 rider is on approach now.
Yeah, Bailey McSpadden getting ready to be able to come through. It's just going to be our first under 23 rider. McSpadden took up the win in California.
Yep, Bailey racing for Bear National. Currently setting the pace in that U23 competition. U23 athletes have 4 to go this time through.
Sitting in that second group, or it was the second group, they managed to get back up into that front group. Madigan Monroe, Trek Factory Racing, Ella McPhee, and Ella was second here last year with the Willier Vittoria Factory Racing team. Marin Lowe had made it in there with Live Factory Racing, and then we talked about Makina Kellerman, who was third last year with the Bear National team. First under 23 is Bailey McSpadden, and keeping a track of that to see what other under 23s have come through, as right behind is Marie Faye St. Onge. And looking at Marie Faye St. Onge,
looks like we have a lead group of 7 now. This elite women's race.
Second place in the under 23 is what I was trying to look up here. Is 30 seconds back. 30 seconds back between Bailey McSpaden and Marie-Faye St. Onge. Then we have 1910 going up to 19. Then 10 seconds back is Lily Boucher in our under 23. And right with her is Ayana Gagne. So second and third, very, very close. Bailey McSpaden with a 30-second lead. So that under 23 race starting to be able to shape up a little bit. Some of these riders moving up a pretty good amount of spots is, again, not coming off the front. Kate Courtney picking her own line, going her own pace. This is the kind of race that she wants to be able to do. And right now it looks like Jen Jackson and Gwendolyn Gibson are comfortable sitting behind. But look how technical it is and trying to be able to get up this hard part of the race course, part of our Fayetteville power climb, right as they reach the top.
See some of that chase footage happening there on the screen. Shout out to the crew at InsiderMTB.com for bringing us what is just incredible race action already today. Again, day 1 of 4, the 2025 U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart. We're just getting started, Frankie.
Jennifer Jackson losing a little bit of time, maybe not as comfortable on the uphill or the downhill, not really sure where the difficulty is. I mean, she was up there leading and pushing the pace last lap, but right now, Kate Courtney maybe sensing a little bit of vulnerability in some of the other riders, and so look at her whipping around those corners, trying to be able to gain as much momentum as possible before they hit the next little uphill.
Yeah, happy to take 2 with her, but if they're going at a pace that's allowing other racers to bridge back on, well, I could see where that was maybe not in the plan, and so already starting to pick the pace right back up. Looks like we have a group of 5 now. The 6th rider trying to get back on terms here as they.
I think that other rider might be Madigan Monroe from Truck Factory Racing. Pirelli might have been in there, or maybe Ella McPhee from the William Vittoria factory team as well. But that group definitely expanding a little bit better. Fast start, first lap time, 13 minutes and 42 seconds for the riders that came by. That was for our leaders, a 13 minute and 42 seconds. Going to keep track of that to be able to see what kind of lap times they're doing leading in. They came through with our elite women with 5 laps to go and our under 23 with 4 laps to go. So a lot of racing still to come.
We've seen this elite field come down to some pretty exciting sprint finishes over the years, and so from the looks of it early on, at least here in Fayetteville, we may have another exciting, exhilarating sprint finish here on our hands, or at least one in the works today, Frankie. All right, Frankie, I'm going to step away. I'm going to go call some podium awards for our junior men, and I will be right back.
Rider in third position, that Canadian national champion, just kind of riding steady, keeping within herself, not redlining herself, trying to not let these 2 leaders get too much in front of her. Little glance over the shoulder, she's looking back to be able to see who's coming up in 4th position behind her as Kate Courtney really finding some good form. Look at her almost sliding out right there, taking some risk, trying to be able to keep that pace going. Gwendolyn Gibson looking very comfortable sitting in 2nd as these are our top 3. Then there's about a 3 or 4 second gap, and then we're going to have our 4th place rider coming through as well. Now, we talked about the combination of riders with our Bailey McSpaden, our top under 23 rider. When she came through, she was top 10 a little bit further back, but she's coming off a bad crash at the end of 2023. It took her a little bit of time to be able to kind of get back into good form. Bailey McSpaden has definitely found that form, heading down to Puerto Rico for some of those UCI races down there where she picked up a 3rd. Last year, picking up a 7th place at Nationals. And so Bailey McSpaden, last lap, finding herself in the lead of our under 23 competition here as our 3 leaders. No change at all. Definitely picking a different line right there as Jennifer Jackson takes that right-hand side behind Kate Courtney. And on the left-hand side, a change in lead as we see Gwendolyn Gibson finds herself in the front. Little pressure on the pedals, trying to be able to get a little bit of a gap as Gibson decides to be able to test the legs, trying to be able to see what Kate Courtney can do. Kate Courtney could be riding on the front, trying to be able to control that tempo at a pace that's comfortable for her, or she might just be riding, trying to be able to see what everybody else can do. But here's a great shot of them trying to be able to come up that hill as it's being led by Gwendolyn Gibson. Again, a third place at the National Championships, coming off of Puerto Rico, where she won 5 days of racing down there, picking up a whopping ton of UCI points. So that is, again, Madigan Monroe, Trek Factory Racing Team, sitting in 4th place, doing a fantastic ride, bridging the gap up to the 3 leaders, so the 3 will become 4. And now maybe they have a little bit of an advantage as there's 2 riders from Trek Factory Racing, rider in 1st place and the rider in 4th place. A little bit different riding styles. You see Gwendolyn Gibson bopping up and down. That's the way she's comfortable. Kate Courtney like rock solid on the top. And then also bopping up and down is Madigan Monroe. Look at the different riding styles. You can see the way they're riding, using their upper bodies to pedal, and other riders keeping very steady as they're making their way up. Number 17, Marin Lowe, currently now that's going to be sitting in 5th. Marin Lowe with a Live Factory Racing Team trying to be able to get up to those leaders. They just need them to be able to slow down a little bit, maybe be able to hit that wind and not want anybody to be able to do any kind of work. And that would be a good opportunity for Marin Lowe to be able to get back into the lead. We're just letting our junior podium take place over there. Congratulations to all of our top 5 for our junior podium. Joining me in the booth is Ty Cady, your event director and organizer. He was just out on one of the buggies that were traveling right alongside of the riders. Ty, let's start off with course conditions. What is the conditions of the course like after all of a little bit of the snow, the cold temperatures, all the wind? What's it like out there?
It's actually drier than I thought. I thought a little bit of that moisture might pack down some of that dirt, but what I saw out there is it's still actually kind of breaking up, a little silty in spots. So you got to be kind of careful in some of these flatter corners. But it's running fast. The girls have got a good groove out there. We're in the buggy chasing them with a camera, and these 3, Kate and Jen and Gwen were out there, and it looks like someone else's little group has latched back on. But I think they're just pacing themselves. They're taking turns in the wind. I don't think anyone's really just gone full throttle just yet.
How big a difference is it when you out here, you're out in this field, you're out in the grass, you're cutting across, and then when you get back there into the trees, does the wind completely die off? Is there any wind back there in the trees? And I'd say 80% of the course is buried back there. What's it like back there?
Yeah, it's a lot more sheltered in the trees there, and you got this natural shelf. We're up on top of here, so this is where the wind really accelerates. So this flat field is very tactical. And then you get down in the trees, and it's much quieter. I'd say it's 10, 15 mile an hour quieter on the winds and stuff. So you can tell they're just all kind of sitting up here and just kind of taking turns and not wanting to waste a lot of energy. I almost felt like they were out there having a conversation. They're dead quiet, but no one was on the rivet just yet. So they're going to let this thing come down to the wire here, and sooner or later someone's going to launch an attack.
Yeah, they're going to wait for a little bit. Still got, when they come through, it's going to be 4 laps to go. So a lot of racing still to go. An excellent job, though, by Marin Lowe trying to be able to get back up in there. But Madigan Monroe made it in there, the rider on the back from Trek Factory Racing. How much of it is it an advantage with the mountain biking if you have 2 teammates that are in the front? But you can see that wind slowing down the first 4, giving an opportunity for the riders, the 2 in the back, and another one in the back to be able to get back up, because this is the hardest part of the course when it's open on that grass field. But what an opportunity for those riders that are off the back to get in with the leaders.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing here is, look, Gwen's looking over. None of the top girls, Kate, Gwen, and Jen really want to do any extra effort, because I think those are going to be your 3 winners. I think it's going to come down to those 3. And what it allows Marin Lowe and the others to get back on. So that rubber band stretches, then it comes back together again because this wind makes it so tactical. So you'll see this group kind of, swell up a little bit here, Frankie, in the field, and then it'll kind of get stretched out. And then it'll swell again, and then it'll get stretched out. Sooner or later, I think that rubber band's going to break, and if I had to make a prediction, it's Kate, Gwen, and Jen, I think, are going to be the final when all the dust settles. Which one of those 3 win this, I don't know, but my calculation is probably those are the top 3 women with the best chance to win this opening round here.
Well, they showed they were the 3 strongest on lap number 1, and so now it became a little bit of a tactical game, a little bit of strategy. They tested each other, and they saw who could respond to that, and so now they're easing up a little bit, trying to be able to see what's going to happen next. Obviously, with all the racing still to go, tactics and strategy definitely take place, as we could see Kate Courtney just coming around the corner, leading them through. Once again, they're going to be seeing 4 laps to go. Riders, Elite women, 4 to go. Elite women, 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go. It's our under 23. We'll have 3 laps to go. 4 to go. 4 to go.
Look, Jen's trying to up the pace. Look, as soon as she felt it go down, I think she doesn't want this group to get much bigger, and I don't think she wants to tow people around. So she's the first one to kind of light a match and say, okay, you know what? Let's whittle this down a little bit. Again, it's getting too big, and she's already got two riders on the back foot right there trying to get back on. So they're going to play some games for a while, Frankie, but sooner or later I think we're going to see some separation here.
Last lap, 14:10. That's almost 30 seconds slower than what they did the lap before. So just what you were talking about, being a little bit patient and playing a little bit of games. That first lap was 13:42. This was a 14:10. That allowed those other riders to be able to get on there. But got to give a lot of credit. If you're McKenna Kellerman and you're Marin Lowe and you're Ella McPhee and Madigan Monroe, you're off the back. Not giving up, right? Staying headstrong to be able to get back into that group. But this course is not forgiving. You hit that power climb. I don't care how much your head wants to be able to stay in that front group. It really does come down to that early season fitness, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And then, Gwen and Jen were really solid at Vail last week. We didn't have Marin Lowe. McKenna was there. McKenna rode great. But it's definitely, like you say, early season fitness. It's going to show who's done their homework in the off season and who still needs a little bit of sharpening.
Yeah, your winner in the cross country in California was Kelsey Urban, who didn't come here. But Jennifer Jackson, second in California. She's obviously up there feeling pretty good. And, of course, we have a Canadian national champion. Jennifer Jackson, obviously very well known and had very good success last year, dominating here, really winning both cross countries and the short track here last year in 2024. But right now finds herself with those top 3, actually top 6 riders, because they've been able to separate themselves. Again, Kate Courtney, Gwendolyn Gibson, Madigan Monroe, Ella McPhee, Jennifer Jackson, and Marin Lowe all find themselves in that front group. McKenna Kellerman is in there as well. Bailey McSpaden came through. She's still our top under 23. I talked about her recovering from that bad crash in the end of 2023. Picked up a 3rd place at Puerto Rico. A strong rider. And in last year, she she was 13th and 12th in the 2 cross-country divisions. So looking to be able to have a little bit better result as she's out here, a combination of the 2 different categories racing together.
Well, she was solid at the Orange Seal Pro Cup out in Temecula. She actually, I think, won that round in the U23, so it looks like she's on great form. And then I think I just got a shot of Jen in the woods while we're talking. Look, she's
attacking.
She didn't want this group to get any bigger, so you could tell she's now putting some effort into this and trying to make it a 3-rider showdown.
Looks like she put Gwendolyn Gibson into a little bit of difficulty, and so Gwendolyn's going to have to kind of redline herself a little bit to try to get up here. On a course like this, I mean, you used to race mountain biking. You were a previous national champion and stuff like that. Do you bomb the descents like that to make up the gap, or do you make up the gap on the uphills?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think you start realizing where you're better and where you're not, and maybe Jen feels like she's a little faster than Kate in the technical stuff, and can maybe stretch it out, and then maybe pace herself on the climbs a little bit and use that descent and that technique to get some free time there. But it's still going to be one on the climbs, and it's going to be one in the flats here just with the wind today. So fitness is going to be a big factor. But obviously Jen is just on rails right now. And then, look, I mean, she's got Gwen on the back foot, like trying to get back on. So this is great racing, Frankie. These women are really just throwing down right now. It's awesome to see.
Once again, speaking with Ty Katie, our event director and promoter who's been putting this on since 2021. It's the 5th year for having this event. Next year, are we coming back?
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope they invite us back, and let's make it 6 in a row. And I think every year we get a little better. I mean, obviously there's some challenges with the weather out in this part of the country, but that's just part of the game. I think the crew with it's produced by Ozark Foundation this year, did a phenomenal job with what was thrown at them. I mean, we got a beautiful day now. If people knew what happened the last 3 days and what we dealt with. Yeah, it was havoc, but we put it all together. We're out here 5 in the morning. We all band together and make this happen, and we got a little small village of people, and couldn't have done this without the Ozark Foundation stepping in and taking over production this year. So yeah, totally excited to be here, and we got great racing, and this is only day 1, Frankie. We got short track tomorrow, and then we got cross country and amateurs Sunday. So this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, just getting things kicked off. Before I let you go, I'd like to be able to ask you about your the U.S. Cross Country, the Open Series. You expanded it this year, so how did that come about?
Yeah, so we ended up partnering with a few other promoters across the country. Ben Agnew up and runs Inglewood, and then we have Sean over in Missoula, Montana. So that was the original 4. And then Soho came on, and Soho's been a part of the overall USAC circuit for a few years, just hosting UCI events. And then we brought on Washougal, Washington, and that's a brand new venue, and we're looking to develop that into possibly a UCI round in the next few years. So we're thinking long term, and we're looking for venues that are able to grow and try to provide a high level of racing that we're trying to accomplish. So
at these other venues, obviously right now we're watching the elite, the pro women, we're watching the elite pro men, but at your other venues that you're going to be part of this U.S. Cross Country Open Series, if you're a beginner mountain biking, do you have a category for them? Can someone come out to that region in that area? Do they have an opportunity to be able to race their mountain bike if you're a beginner?
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's something we're trying to work on too, is that everyone sees U.S. Pro Cup, or we see the UCI and the high importance we place on the Christopher Blevins and Kate Courtneys, but at every round we offer categories for almost every age and skill level on Sundays with USA Cycling Points. And so I think that's a message to get more amateurs out at this event. I think it's a little intimidating. I think it's a little little intimidating for them. But no, we have everything from a Cat 3, which we'd call a beginner or a novice, and then we got Cat 2s, would be an intermediate level person, and then we have a Cat 1, which is an expert, and we've got everywhere from 12 and 10 and under all the way to 70 plus. So there's pretty much a category for you if you're an amateur cross country or short track racer. The U.S. Cup is the place for you to go.
What's the website?
uscupmtb.com.
There, go check it out, uscupmtb.com. And obviously, we got a race for you to be able to come on out. Ty Katie, thank you very much. Excellent job, and super excited to be able to see what happens today with our women, and then coming up a little bit later on with our elite men and under 23 men coming up at 4 p.m.
Yep, looks like we got a great race, and those three I was telling you about are back in the bunch. So I'm going to hand this over, and appreciate you, Frankie.
All right, Frankie, and I'm back. Great conversation between you and race director Ty Katie, kind of breaking down what this professional season of cross-country mountain bike racing looks like here in the U.S.
How were the juniors? Were they excited with their podium placings over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out once again to Oliver Welker taking the top step in our junior men's 17 to 18-year-old race just earlier this morning. But you got a race going on here. Look at this. Still Kate Courtney setting the pace. Jen Jackson right there. I saw Trek Factory racer Gwendolyn Gibson trying to stay on terms. It looks like she's falling back just a little bit.
Yeah, struggling a little bit right there. I thought Gibson was doing a pretty good job. I got to say, who looked pretty impressive is Kate Courtney, controlling the front, really controlling the race. You know, we talked about the slow sections and the tactics and strategy that's taking place, but Kate Courtney seems to be able to find her groove back once again as your previous winner here in 2023.
Yeah, she didn't join us in Vail, but I did see just right around that time. I think she went out and won one of the races in the Grasshopper Series, the gravel series. So has been doing some early season gravel miles, maybe get a little base miles and some endurance there early season. But yeah, she looks to be on top form rolling into the 2025 race season. And this weekend's U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart.
It's hard to be able to tell, but Kate Courtney seems to have a little bit more comfortable on the downhills, a little bit more speed, a little bit more maybe comfortable with the technical aspects of this than Jennifer Jackson. Jennifer Jackson doing a great job. Obviously, both of them very familiar with this race course. They know how to be able to handle it. And, they're going to start pressuring each other at different points along this course. One thing for sure is mission accomplished, right? They got rid of Gwendolyn Gibson from the Trek Factory Racing. And so that's one less person they're going to have to worry about. Gwendolyn, though, now in no man's land, meaning she's all by herself out there. And if she's all by herself out there, she's going to have no help. And right behind her was that small group of Madigan Monroe, Ella McPhee, Marin Lowe, McKenna Kellerman. They all get together. They're going to be able to swallow up Gwendolyn Gibson. And so that third place for that podium spot could be up for grabs as well. But right now, these two riders going away from each other. When they come around to our start-finish line, they're going to be seeing 3 laps to go. Bailey McSpadden, your winner in California, which was race number 1 of our U.S. Pro Cup. She continues to be able to lead here in this mixed division with our elite women in the under 23. So Bailey having a fantastic ride once again, riding for that Bear national team.
Good shot of your current leaders in your elite women's competition. Once again, it is Kate Courtney out the front, followed right on her wheel by current Canadian national champion Jennifer Jackson. And you're right, they have Gwendolyn Gibson no longer in the shot, if you would say, as they look to put some seconds into the rest of the field. But back in that field, as you were talking about that chase group, Gwendolyn does have a teammate in Maddie Monroe, both representing Trek and that Trek Factory team. And so be interested if they can't possibly to hook up as they lead us swap positions here, as it looks like Jen Jackson comfortable to take up front and maybe potentially take a pull. You wonder if Kate and Jen aren't working together a little bit to keep this pace high to make sure that that chase doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's a great point, especially during these windy sections. Once you get up here to the field in the grass, this is the hard, because it's so windy, it's like a headwind. But, yeah, taking turns and trying to be able to keep that pace high, try to keep Gwendolyn Gibson off their wheels, and that's going to be part of the strategy that's taking place right now. Both of them looking extremely comfortable. Look at them turning the gear. Very similar kind of cadence that they have out there. And again, in second place, Kate Courtney is the one rider in the black jersey with the Red Bull helmet. Jennifer Jackson with that maple leaf on the back of her jersey as Canadian national champion. Jennifer Jackson swept all the events here last year in 2024, winning both of the cross-country days and the short track. Now finds herself up in that front group once again with an opportunity to come back and win again on day number 1 of our U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart. Looking to be able to see a little bit more what's behind them, as we're going to have 3rd, 4th, 5th. Is Gwendolyn Gibson by herself, or has she been brought back in by some of the other riders like Lowe, Kellerman, Siopa, Bradbury? A lot of riders out on course right now as our leaders are getting ready to see 3 laps to go.
Yeah, both these athletes, Frankie, on new rides. Mentioned Kate moving over to the Allied stable this year. She's on that BC40. And Jennifer Jackson moving over to Orbea this year. So brand new rides for both these athletes. And looks like they've both found comfort early season on these new bikes.
Last lap, 13 minutes and 42 seconds and more. 3 laps to go, riders. 3 to go. 3 laps to go. 3 to go. So that lap a little bit quicker, 13:13. That's actually faster than what they did on lap number 1. And so they are coming through. Gwendolyn Gibson is going to be our next rider coming through. The 2 riders separating themselves. That's going to be Kate Courtney and Jennifer Jackson. And then waiting for Gwendolyn Gibson.
In this win, that's a bad place to be hung out. And here comes that chase group you talked about, Frankie. They've just hit that tarmac themselves. It looks like it's a chase group of 4 trying to reel in Gwendolyn Gibson.
And they're going to have a good chance to be able to reel in Gwendolyn Gibson. 26 seconds back on the leaders, only 5 seconds back on 3rd place. And that is going to be Monroe, McAfee, Lowe, and Kellerman.
Yeah, again, podiums going awarded 5 deep here today. And so there's a lot of racing for steps there in that front group. We got some riders here. They've had maybe got twisted up a little bit.
Bailey Siopa now coming through in our line. It's going to be 3 to go, 3 to go, 3 laps to go.
Got some riders.
Riders walking out there or just taking a breather.
I think that their day may be done. Not sure what's going on there. Could have been if it was a crash, they're already up and walking that bike, but something tells me it might be mechanical, could be biker body. I don't know, but yeah, definitely not going their way here today. But you know what? That's okay. They get to do it again tomorrow, and they get to do it again Saturday. So a lot of racing still up for grabs this weekend at the U.S. Pro Cup, presented by our friends at Walmart.
Once again, paying attention to this finish line, waiting to see with our top under 23 rider when they come through. Time gaps are starting to grow in between pretty much those top 6 riders, as almost a minute has gone by and still nobody has come through. Our under 23 rider is going to be seeing 2 laps to go once they get around. Again, over 40 riders out on course, and our leaders right now continue to be Kate Courtney and Jennifer Jackson. Jennifer Jackson, current Canadian national champion. Kate Courtney, a previous world champion in cross country. Both of them have won here before, as Kate Courtney won in 2023 and Jennifer Jackson winning in 2024.
Kate taking the privateer route this year, now racing for, she's titled She Sends Racing, and so new bike, new kit, same helmet, Red Bull coming along with her.
Here comes our first under 23 rider, is Bailey McSpaden, coming off a win at California, now making her way through. Under 23, you're going to have 2 to go, 2 laps to go, 2 to go for under 23, 2 to go. Oh, and I'm just noticing she's all by herself, not out there riding with anybody else. It's only her coming through right there. That's Lori Arsenault. Lori moving up 1 spot on that last lap as we go back to our leaders on camera. And again, pushing it on the downhills, the technical aspects of it's Kate Courtney. All those years of racing Obviously, we talked about her being a world champion and leading up, right? You don't just jump into world champion status. There's a lot building up to get to that point, but you got to be able to go uphill well and downhill well, and that's exactly what Kate Courtney is demonstrating right now.
Well, and this course favors exactly that, the all-around athlete. It's got some punchy technical climbs, some pretty rowdy technical descents, and so she seems to be right at home here today in Centennial Park, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Again, this purpose-built venue for you guys, for those just tuning in here on InsiderMTB.com. You're tuned into some action of what is Centennial Park, which is a purpose-built venue located in Fayetteville, Arkansas, second biggest city in Fayetteville, located in the northwest corner. It's a 228-acre public park that's seen an investment in both professional XCO-style cross-country mountain bike racing as well as cyclocross. This winter, going to host the 2025 USA Cyclocross National Championships at this same venue.
Yeah, big thank you to many of our partners, including Arvest Bank, Ozark Foundation, UAMS Health, our medical team doing a fantastic job over there. Hopefully they haven't been too busy. Lewis Automotive Group, Orange Seal, and Violic Farms. Here's another under 23, Marie Faye St. Onge. That's going to be fitting in second. Just in front of you in second. Here's another under 23 coming through with Lily Boucher. So that second and third definitely up for grabs right now.
Good look of our leaders as they pass that feed zone number 1 out on course. The first of 2 feed zones available to the riders in this afternoon's competition. Go up and over this flyover, and they'll drop down on, this is shared portion of the course that shares a section called Chasing Gold, which is that purpose-built cyclocross race course out here at Centennial Park. And then as they make their way down, they'll snake their way down through here, and you'll see them dive off back into the single track.
Lily Boucher doing a fantastic ride. 33rd in our call-up list and making her way up into top 10, top 12. And so that's a great ride. Also, she's in that under 23 category trying to be able to get in there. Again, second and third only separated by 4 seconds. Only 4-second difference is Boucher sitting in third. So she's waiting. Again, they're seeing 2 laps to go. Again, for our elite women, 3 laps to go. Under 23, all of them seeing 2 laps to go. That's Madigan Monroe coming through. I think she hooked up with Gwendolyn Gibson. So that group of 4 that was chasing Gwendolyn Gibson have managed to be able to reel her back in. And so 2 of the Trek Factory Racing teams, while partnering up, a lot of the other riders trying to be able to hang on. Again, it was Madigan Monroe, it was Ella McAfee, Marin Lowe, and Makina Kellerman. Kellerman picking up a 3rd place here last year. Ella McAfee, a 2nd place here last year. So, again, these riders familiar with this course. They know how to pace themselves. They know how to be able to get to the end and have a good result. You have to save some energy for that final lap. And so, very difficult course conditions as Kate Courtney continues to be able to control things, it seems like, on her end, as she's just riding her pace, her bike race, trying to be able to see what's going to happen a little bit later on.
Yeah, great shot. Doesn't show the elevation that they're digging into right here.
It's uphill, though, isn't it?
It is uphill. Yep, that's our Experience Fayetteville power line climb. You can see there the power line's what we call electric avenue sometimes in the racing. And, yeah, they're just now punching up out of the single track. They'll get into this double track section that takes them up and over and towards Arvest Mountain. A lot of moves made in a lot of races right here on this portion of the race course, both in cyclocross and cross-country mountain biking. And so it looked like they're both pretty comfortable at the pace they're setting, but definitely an opportunity to make a move in the race right here.
That's a great shot. Look at that, right on the next to them as they're going right by, turning the pedals over side by side. Even, Jackson, you can see her starting to be able to pump a little bit more, trying to be able to push the pace.
This is the approach they'll go up out in the field a little bit. There's a little kind of lollipop section they do out here before they approach what is being coined Arvest Mountain this weekend. Shout out to Arvest Bank. Strong communities start with strong relationships. As a proud sponsor of the U.S. Pro Cup and the Ozark Foundation, Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others and is committed to working with those who serve our community. Thanks to Arvest Pretty unique feature. Again, purpose-built, shares both the cyclocross and the mountain bike courses. One side's mountain bike, the other side's cyclocross. You'll see a series of Belgium-style stairs on the back side of this mountain used in cyclocross, but they're going to approach this. There'll be an A and a B line. Most of these athletes comfortable taking that A line. It's about a 6-foot drop. The B line being a really, really technical and long and drawn-out rock garden. Here you go. This is approaching that Arvest Mountain, as we talked about. A little technical kind of step up there is to get into the, call it the gate here, and then it's rider. They choose their line right here. They either send it down the rock garden there on the right or left, or like Jen Jackson did, just make it look easy and hit that little drop. And that sends them into what we call the Orange Hill Speed and Style section. You'll see right there why is there's several purpose-built cinders out here in the woods that are, well, they're a lot of fun to ride, Frankie.
Yeah, almost like a couple of tabletop jumps and some little swoopy-doos, and yeah, a lot of fun to be able to keep your momentum. And that's something that, it's a no-break area where you got to be able to keep that momentum, be able to keep that flow going. And really cool to be able to see the Orange Hill Speed and Style section coming through right after that rock jump. As Jennifer Jackson, again, previous Pan American gold medalist, leads them through, Canadian national champion. Here's your chasers right now, the two of the Trek Factory Racing.
That is Maddie Monroe up in front, I believe, of Gwendolyn Gibson now, and that's that might be Live Factory rider on their wheel.
Was that 2-0 or 2-2-0?
Yep, that is indeed. Certainly setting in Marin Lowe with Live Factory Racing. Looks to be setting in 5th, chasing those two Trek Factory athletes.
So Marin Lowe hooking up with Madigan Monroe and Gwendolyn Gibson. And that means Makina Kellerman got left out of this, and mainly it's Makina Kellerman not finding her way to be able to get up to be able to stay with those those 4 chasers. Now I can't call them the front runners because we have the 2 riders off the front with Kate Courtney and Jennifer Jackson, but Kellerman was there for a long time, and so now doesn't find herself in that chase group. As we go back to our 2 leaders cutting through the trees in the wood, they're about to be able to pop up and make their way onto the field and start heading back. And again, once they come around, they are going to be seeing 2 laps to go.
They're applying 80% to both classes in the women. The men will be off the leader.
Good look at our leaders there. You got Jen Jackson now setting the pace in front of Kate Courtney. A lot of up and down in this course, Frankie. They come off the top of this mountain a couple different times. It's the last time up as they go over these cobblestones here, and they'll go over this flyover, and that puts them back into the wind like we've talked about. We got about a 20-mile-an-hour crosswind here, but it's a headwind when they make a right-hand turn right up here. So they'll go over this flyover and then right into the wind. This is a feed zone, so an opportunity to grab some nutrition or some hydration as they make their way through.
Hey, if you lost an iPhone, come on by. Got a notification from Malachi Orenholtz. And look again, if you lost a iPhone, your dad's iMessaging you, so you might want to be able to do that. Or Braden McMurdy, just throwing out some names. Come on by, have your iPhone.
264, she's about to be caught by the leader. She might get 80%.
All right, looks like we got a rider there electing to run that technical rock descent that we've spoken about. So don't know if she's had a mechanical there.
Oh, never mind.
That's a long run to the tech area from there. Leaders make their way back here into Stonehenge, where it's in this unique double horseshoe design. Never seen anything like it in bike racing development, where they enter below, they finish above, and, well, the fans, they get to hang out in the middle, and sure we'll see some fans hanging out there this weekend. Saturday's race conditions just going to be absolutely beautiful here in Fayetteville in northwest Arkansas, and so something tells me the park here will be bustling for sure with race fans.
Oh, yeah, going to be a lot of spectators coming out here again. Excellent job. Keep her going. Keep her going. That's going through our start-finish line right now. That's Gwendolyn Urbane from About Racing as our leaders are getting ready to come in and going to be seeing 2 laps to go. So during this second lap, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to our under 23 so I can actually let them know when they have their one lap to go. There's Kate Courtney and Jennifer Jackson coming in. Riders, it's 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. There's your leaders, Courtney in the black jersey, Jennifer Jackson in the Canadian jersey. 2 laps to go, 2 to go for our leaders coming by. Lap time is going to be a 13:49, so that's 30 seconds slower than what they did last lap. Remember, they got rid of a bunch of riders at last lap when they did the 13:13, and now they're at 13:49. They just came through seeing 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we saw that chase group of 3 just enter Stonehenge there in the shot, and so be able to get you some gap times here shortly.
Starting to lap some riders, so the back markers, I don't want to say getting in the way, but because they're able to go around them pretty easily, but you're going to see some riders right on their wheel or maybe some riders in front of our 2 leaders, but those are riders that are about to get lapped from our elite women and the under 23. Remember, 2 different categories out here racing at the same time. Here comes our chasers right now. This is going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Again, Marin Lowe, Gwendolyn Gibson, and Madigan Monroe. Makina Kellerman is just off the back. She was there for a while, and now it's 2 to go for the riders coming through. 2 to go for all of our riders, including Kellerman. 2 laps to go. Makina, excellent job. 2 to go. Now we're going to have about a minute gap on our start-finish line until we're going to have our first other riders coming in. As those are the 3 leaders. They're not waiting around for Makina Kellerman from Bear National Team. It's the Trek Factory Racing Pirelli riders leading them through, and they're dragging along Marin Lowe right on their wheel. That could actually play into Marin's favor if she can, save the legs a little bit and stay on the wheel, maybe have something for that last lap.
Yeah, it looked like she let him through, but Gwen comfortable to hop back in front and set the pace now as they dive back into the single track here with 2 to go. More of our U23 athletes coming across. No, that correction. That's Bailey Siopa with Bear National making her way across, part of that elite women's competition. Look at our leaders there. Great shot through the woods. Sticky, they told me it was out here when I asked. They said that just means that. Well, you can tell what that means. If you're a camera operator, you look out in there and you can see through the woods like that. It's appropriately sticky, but we love it because it allows us to grab some shots like this. A month from now, this whole forest is going to be leafed out and full of green, and so great opportunity to provide some spectacular coverage this weekend on InsiderMTB.com. Reminder, if you like what you see and you're sitting at home and you're tuned in live for free, compliments of our friends at Orange Seal, consider hitting that donation button. These productions don't happen for free. We'd love to make a donation. We'll give you a shout out on the broadcast today, Frankie.
It's kind of interesting. Jennifer Jackson doesn't have any water on that water bottle. Kate Courtney has a full bottle. Well, she has a water bottle on. I don't know if it's full, but the point is that Jennifer Jackson doesn't have it. It's, when you're out here putting in a pretty good effort like that, staying hydrated make a big, big difference. The moment you get a little bit dehydrated, it reduces your performance by a pretty decent amount, and so that's not something you want to be able to have to go through. So definitely you want to be able to stay hydrated, and Jennifer Jackson with that Canadian maple leaf on the back, it does not have any water on her. As Courtney, again, bombing the descent, she pushes the pace every single time on that downhill. It's going to be Nicole Bradbury coming through, and then Ella McAfee also coming through.
The wind continues to blow. It's kind of turning into more of like a crosswind. You saw the stars and stripes back there blowing sideways in the shot there. And so, yeah, just whipping around is the wind right now, about 20 miles an hour.
All right, here comes our first under 23 rider. Again, I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to the under 23 so I can give them 1 lap to go. And this is going to be Bailey McSpadden. Talked about her having that bad crash back at the end of 2023, recovering from that, coming off 3rd place in the Puerto Rico. 1 to go, Bailey. 1 to go. You're leading our under 23. That's 1st place in our under 23 coming through with Bailey McSpadden coming off a 7th place at Nationals. She won California just a couple of weeks ago.
Number 50, she just got the virtual bell that Frankie told her what to do.
Our U23 athletes getting the virtual bell as we
And remember,
make this with 1 to go.
And second and third are very close to each other. They were only 4 seconds separating them last lap, which Marie faced St. Onge, and it was the other one was Lily Boucher. So going to be paying attention to them as they get ready to be able to come through to be able to let them know it's going to be their final lap. You know, elite women, they're all seeing 2 laps to go as we're looking at our leaders on screen right now. Again, great ride by Kate Courtney as she continues. She's controlling this race, really setting her own tempo at her own speed, waiting to be able to see if anybody's going to be able to attack. And if I got a feeling like if you're going to attack, you might wait for that last half lap. You don't want to go out too early, partly because of that wind. And I think they're a little bit worried about the strength of each other, the strength of the other, right? They're not sure, you know, how deep they're going into the arsenal to be able to keep up with each other.
Yeah, again, that game of cat and mouse, not wanting to give too much away. I think these 2 athletes are comfortable to take it, looks like down to the last lap at least, to see if maybe somebody doesn't throw a dart and it doesn't stick. But right now, the 2 of them seem to be comfortable working together at the pace that they're setting and, you know, kind of sizing each other up for that final lap of racing. Again, Kate Courtney definitely looking stronger on the descents.
Marie Fay, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 lap to go, 1 to go. And here comes Lily Boucher. We talked about her sitting in third. Lily, 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go. That's second place right in front of you. That's second place right in front of you. 1 to go, 1 to go. One thing also is Kate Courtney did not go out to California, and so Jennifer Jackson doesn't know the form that Kate Courtney has, and Kate Courtney does not know the form that Jennifer Jackson has either. Lauren Aguilera, keep going, 2 to go, 2 to go, and under Annabelle Droit. Annabelle, 1 lap to go. Here she comes right now, coming right through there. Sibior Quiro, the Canadian, 1 to go. Annabelle, 1 lap to go, 1 to go.
But yeah, going back to Kate Courtney and Jen Jackson battling it out, this is not the first battle they have done. Those 2 athletes familiar with one another, familiar with one another's riding style. They've been racing each other for the better part, at least the last 5 years, off and on here at the U.S. Pro Cup.
It's just early season form, right? You're not sure who's going well and who's not in 2025, right? They're a little bit familiar maybe what's going on with 2024 and 2023, but you're right. They've known each other for a long time. And well aware of the results that each of them have. Juliette Tretreau getting ready to be able to come through. 2 to go for Juliette, 2 to go. And Ayana Gagne, under 23, coming through. Still in the top 5 for Ayana. Making her way down as another one of our Canadian riders. Ayana, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Ayana, 1 to go. Top 5 right now. Congratulations on that.
Hey, course guys, has anybody seen Rider 43?
Again, Kate and Jen, leaders, managing a little bit of lap traffic out there in that U23 competition, the race within a race, but you know, we'll get through there clean, most by all accounts.
Two under 23 riders coming through right now. Catriana, 1 lap to go. Catriana Marcotte, 1 to go, 1 to go. Right behind is going to be Lucy Hillstrom.
First 5 riders have lapped at least 3 riders.
Lucy, 1 lap to go. Lucy, 1 lap to go. Gravity Academy, 1 to go, Lucy.
Kate Courtney leading Jen Jackson back into the what we call RVS Mountain here. Little technical step up right there.
That looks so difficult. They hit those first rocks and it just stops you dead. And that would take so much force to be able to like continue that momentum. You know, it saps you without even having, because you're not going anywhere. So very difficult right there. As you can see, they nail that. And then again, Courtney taking advantage of those downhills and those sweeping turns, using her skills to be able to get across that. And Jennifer Jackson following no problem as that Canadian national champions matching pedal stroke for pedal stroke. so far, really, on every single lap here. Really, this is going to come down to a race of nutrition, or to see who has got the power on that final lap.
Yeah, and you just have to wonder, are these two comfortable taking it to the line, or at some point someone's going to make a move?
Madeline, 1 lap to go. Madeline, 1 lap to go. 1 to go.
This cat and mouse game can only go on for so long, Frankie. And so at some point, again, somebody I expect to make a move here. Is it going to be Jen? Is it going to be Kate? Who's saved a little bit in the tank? Who's got what's left to take them a win? Race 1 of 3 for these elite women athletes this weekend at the U.S. Pro Cup.
Yeah, you don't want to wait for a sprint, do you? I mean, that's, why take that risk? If you can win solo, that's always better than waiting for it to come down to a sprint. Because going around those circles on Stonehenge, you can easily get cut off. You can clip a pedal. A lot of things can happen. So it's a little bit tricky. Riders, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go for Grandmont and Paternoster and Vaznak. 1 lap to go for Viznak. For Grandmont, where are you? You coming through? Here you go, Grandmont. 1 lap to go, 1 to go. Paternoster, Sam, 1 lap to go. Come on, Sam.
I think there's a good shot of current leader in our U23 race.
Bailey McSpadden, Bear National Team, on the final lap, making their way through. She's wearing number 50. And then you go back to our leaders. This is our elite women. When the elite women come around, they're still going to have 1 lap to go, and nothing separating them at all.
Just some spectacular coverage here is what it looks like to be. It's just a beautiful bluebird day here in Fayetteville. A little chilly, though, high right now of about, I think it finally crested 50 degrees, but the wind chill is still in the 40s, and windy it still is. We've had really an unprecedented 10 straight days of wind here in northwest Arkansas that it's not characteristic for the region, I will say that. We get some windy days here and there, but what we've seen over the last week and a half, really unprecedented. We've seen fires across Oklahoma, move into Arkansas, smoke, just really making not only just race conditions tough, but just life tough across the central part of the United States, the south central part of the United States.
Yeah, the 23s are on their bell lap now.
There goes Jen Jackson taking some hydration. Frankie, she talked about, didn't have a bottle on her bike. I think she knew where that bottle said. It was sitting there in that second feed zone on course as these two leaders now make their way out on the backside. Was the farthest out portion of this course, and it's just really a grind from here right into that west-northwest headwind and grinding all the way back towards Stonehenge.
Once again, real quick for our spectators, if you lost an iPhone, come over here and get it. Got Malachi Arnholtz replying to you. For our elite women, this is going to be bell lap. Yes, 1 lap to go. Getting ready to be able to come down.
Going to holler at the officials over there, make sure they know it's bell lap.
Kate Courtney riding comfortably, keeping the pace going, staying on the front. Jennifer Jackson following up right behind. So all riders now coming through, not going to have to keep track or separate them. Everybody's going to be getting 1 lap to go.
Yeah, and here they go, going past our Walmart Plus delivery truck there. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, ladies. 1 more to go. Kate Courtney setting the pace, looks over her shoulder. Jen Jackson sitting right there. Second wheel. See if we get a good idea of the split. And the race back for third. What was 3 athletes back there battling out for third, fourth, and fifth. Again, podium's going to be 5 deep for our elite women's and our U23 category race.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier with Kate Courtney kind of setting up, like going privateer, setting up her own racing team, not riding for a big sponsored team. So brand new for her is right now we have a great shot, I believe, of Bailey McSpadden coming in. That's our leader in the under 23 from the Bear national team. She won in California. Now she decided to come to Fayetteville and going to be able to win here. An incredible ride. All riders, 1 to go, 1 lap to go. That is going to be Gwendolyn Gibson coming through. So Gibson, who had her teammates with her, have left and is now on third place all by herself in that final lap with 1 lap to go. Just behind right now, getting ready to come through, is going to be Marin Lowe and Madigan Monroe, as they're going to be seeing 1 to go riders, 1 lap to go.
Yeah, again, a lot of UCI points up for grabs here this weekend. Today being UCI C1, tomorrow being a UCI inscripted short track race, and then Saturday that HC or above category race right here, the only HC category race in the U.S. this year, Frankie. Lots of points up for grabs. Early season, a lot of the athletes you're seeing, if you're tuned in on InsiderMTB.com, they're going to go on to race internationally throughout the season with, big dreams on what they can do in 2025.
Tatum, last lap, 1 to go. Here comes Makina Kellerman from Bear National Team as well. Kellerman was in that group for a while. That was a 4-rider chase group. Riding for the Bear National Team coming through. 1 to go. 1 to go for Makina Kellerman.
All right, so we got to get a look back over to the leaders of this elite race. There they are, still wheel to wheel, Frankie. Battling it out, as is Kate Courtney and Jen Jackson. Kate in the black. Jen in that Canadian Maple Leaf jersey, your current Canadian national champion. Kate, a former world champion. Like rocking the rainbow stripes on her sleeve. Little technical climb right here. Again, purpose-built race course built with this style, Olympic-style cross-country mountain bike racing in mind. Events just like this weekend's U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart. And you see just the technicality of this course that they've created here. But lots of options to also just, like you see right here, just stand up and take a breath and recover on the bike. And so,
yeah, I mean, a lot of downhills, a lot of uphills, but those downhills, you got to have that technical aspect to be able to handle it, and especially how dry it's been and how, like with the other races coming through, it's been chewed up a little bit. So it's a little bit, silty, it's a little bit drifty, and the riders have to be able to handle that, and so these two, obviously, with all the mountain bike experience they have, it's not much of a problem, but yes, it's very much like intervals. It's an effort and then recover, an effort and then recover. And it can be from a downhill to the uphills. And so there's a lot going on out there as our two leaders are kind of challenging each other to try to be able to see who can be able to win here in the 2025 U.S. Pro Cup. It's day number 1 as this race presented by Walmart, as we see our under 23 Bailey McSpadden making her way up and around, trying to be able to come in. Talked about a great win in California, and now she's backing it up. A testament to her true fitness, as she's going to be able to take first place here in Fayetteville. Only has about 500 more meters left to go. Coming through our tech zone, our neutral support area over there, as she gets ready to go into Stonehenge, and then to have that final turn coming in for our finish.
Good look at our leaders there in our elite women's race. Again, a race within a race. Lots of race action happening all over the race course here in Fayetteville. But again, this race of 2, it's been this way for about the last 3 laps. And Kate Courtney and Jen Jackson well off the front. Last time through, we did see Gwendolyn Gibson, Trek Factory racer, make a move and looked like she was not comfortable with being back there in a chase group and was able to create some separation between her and 4th and 5th. As we look at Bailey McSpadden making her way into Stonehenge for the final time of the day in this U23 women's race. Quick shot as our leaders as Bailey makes her approach into the finish line. Again, no one making a move yet, Frankie. I have to imagine they're going to run out of racehorse. That's the feed zone 1, so still a lot a lot of distance left on this final lap, but at some point someone's going to have to make a move. And here comes
Moving back to our finish, it's going to be our winner of our under 23, winning in California, and your 2025 winner right here in Fayetteville, Bailey McSpadden. Bear National Team picking up number 1 on that. Congratulations. Great ride for Bailey. She's able to rest up. And now we wait to be able to see the rest of the podium for our under 23. Going back to our leaders, Kate Courtney's got a foot out, trying to be able to keep the speed going.
a little moto style there, a little moto action out here at Centennial Park.
Jennifer Jackson looking comfortable, just sitting in the saddle, just kind of relaxing, just following the wheel behind the whole entire time. She's letting Kaitney pick the lines, and Jennifer's just following it as they're now on the final half a lap, leading back in towards our finish line as Courtney continues to be able to ride her own pace and her own tempo, trying to be able to see if she can win here in 2025. Once again, Jennifer Jackson won here in 2024. Kate Courtney won here in 2023. More riders are coming in right now, as that is going to be Lori Arsenault with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, we saw it.
Look at this rider here, just dying coming up the hill. That's how tough this course is. Unbelievable. That's Maya Blanchard from Delta Development, just barely cranking it over the top of that climb. Kate Courtney starting to fly on the downhills again, and Jackson trying to be able to stay with her. No problem so far for either of them. I don't know where the separation is going to come. I don't know how they're going to get rid of one or the other.
Well, we saw it in round 1 of the US XCO Open presented by Orange Steel out in California. This race, our elite women's race, came down to a sprint finish between Kelsey Urban and Jennifer Jackson. So something tells me she's ready for a sprint should it come down to that. But
right, so if you're Jennifer Jackson and you lost a sprint to Kelsey Urban, why would you want to go through that again?
Well, but we talk about this early season fitness. Kate Courtney looking like she has found that fitness early on in the season on that new Allied ride. And Jen may be giving it to her and just not able to make the pass.
No, I mean, Kate might be giving it to Jen. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the pace is going. And sometimes, right, in your head, you want to be able to do a certain move or be able to do something, and you just can't. And that's what's happening. Here's second place. Congratulations, Marie-Faye St-Onge. She managed to be able to hold off Lily Boucher. So unbelievable. There was only 4 seconds between the two last lap. So Marie-Faye St-Onge picking up second place in our under 23, and Lily Boucher coming in with a third place unofficially.
Great racing out there on the course as our leaders in our elite women's competition just crested the Experience Fayetteville Power Climb for the final time of the day. A few little bonus meters out here. Stretch the course out a little bit before they approach Arvest Mountain for a final time. From there, it's that Orange Seal Speed and Style section directly into the Dell Descent. And so still a lot of racing left, about a half lap of racing left. But, well, anything can happen in a short amount of time out here at Centennial Park.
Lauren Aguilera, 1 lap to go. Annabelle Drouin, this is your finish. Coming in, another one of our under 23s, making her way around the Talladega turn and now making her way back in. Unofficially for Annabelle, it's going to be a 4th place. Congratulations. Excellent job.
Good look at Kate Courtney and Jen Jackson approaching that Arvest Mountain for a final time. You can just see how technical that entrance is into this feature.
Legs starting to fatigue, too. You know, when they hit those boulders, you don't have that snap that you used to have to just be able to power over it. I mean, it's been a long race. These riders, remember, they started at 2 o'clock, and it is now 3:22, so it's going to be a full almost hour and a half of racing. That's a pretty good amount of time of climbing and kind of testing each other, and especially you haven't been able to relax or go your own pace, partly because you always have somebody else with you. So Kate Courtney has always been worried about Jennifer Jackson, and Jennifer Jackson has been worried about Kate Courtney. So you got a little bit of that stress, that anxiety about thinking about, sweaty palms about how are you going to be able to win this bike race. And now it's getting down to the nitty gritty. We're down into the, the final couple K to be able to see who can be able to have the legs to be able to get away from the other.
Yeah, neither of these riders really coming uncorked, though. Both of them staying strong and really not giving it away as to who's got what it takes to take the win here today. And we just saw a sprint finish in our junior men 17, 18-year-old. Something tells me, Frankie, this one could come down to the same. We could see a 2-up sprint for the win right here in Fayetteville.
Yeah, and the juniors, it was at least they were teammates, and so I don't think they really cared about who was going to be able to win. They had a little bit of a discussion here. Definitely not teammates. And I know Kate Courtney with her privateer going off on her own. You mentioned her with a brand new bike sponsor, clothing sponsor, trying to be able to figure out her whole program herself instead of being on a big squad and a team telling her these are the races you have to do. She wants to be able to start off this 2025 program on a good note. And obviously, if you can win, honestly, first or second place here would actually be a great result for both of them.
All right. Dealing with just a little bit of lap traffic in this technical section, but looks like both those riders going to make it through there clean.
Lucy Hillstrom, all done. Excellent job, Lucy. Congratulations, all done. This is going to be, are we still doing one to go? Juliette Trayette, one to go. Juliette, one lap to go. Keep to Quebec. I would say Kate Courtney has led 85% of this bike race.
I was about to say the same thing. At some point, is Jen just sitting back there and saving the watts, saving the energy, just waiting, just letting Kate comfortable, letting her be off the front? This is that little cobble section featured in the cyclocross course. They're going to go up and over this flyover for the final time, and then they're going to make a right-hand turn right into the wind. At some point, all bets are off, and they got to win a race.
Couple little humps right there going over some of those tunnels as Kate Courtney is now leading him through. Now a little glance over the shoulder trying to be able to see which side the wind is coming from and which side the rider is going to be sitting on. And again, once you get to this roundabout, twisty stuff, if you dive on the inside, you can definitely surprise somebody. And so they're going to be thinking about that. They have one little kind of hump that they're going to go over, and then they're going to go into Stonehenge, and that's when they're going to start curving around.
This attack by Jen right here on the climb.
That's the hump that I was talking about with an opportunity, and so she wants to be in first position coming around here. Kate Courtney, look at the shift. She's in a lot bigger gear right now, as now they're starting to go into the roundabout and the twisty areas here, and this is the gamble I was talking about with the sprint, as Jennifer Jackson, winning here in 2024, right now finds herself on the front right now. It's a battle between Jackson and Courtney.
Yeah, Jen was second wheel into that sprint in California 2 weeks ago. Looks like she's going to be much more comfortable being off the front to start the sprint here in Fayetteville. Couple more turns, and then this is that Talladega-like turn. And Kate Courtney on the inside makes a pass.
Courtney diving on the inside to get that hole shot. Jennifer Jackson has to be able to respond to it. This is the Talladega turn. It's the final turn. What kind of speed can they have coming off of it as they're going to shift right now to get into the big gear? Kate Courtney trying to be able to come into the front, out of the saddle, the final meters. Your 2025 champion is Kate Courtney. Jennifer Jackson finishing in second as Courtney comes through first place here at our U.S. Pro Cup presented by Walmart.
Man, what a move. Waited the last minute there. Jen Jackson making the move on that flyover feature that you mentioned. She made it. It didn't stick. Kate Courtney able to stay on her wheel. And then with 2 turns to go on the inside, dips low, makes the pass, and carries it across the line. Hats off. Great race, both these ladies.
Little MotoGP style. I liked it. Diving on that inside, that was exciting. And being able to finish like that.
These athletes start to congratulate each other. Again, what an impressive showing. Again, both these athletes on new rides this year. And I've got something tells me that Kate and getting real comfortable on that Allied Cycles BC40.
Yeah, brand new program we talked about with Kate Courtney, and so that's a great way to be able to start off the season with a win here in Fayetteville. Talked about her winning in 2023 and coming back and taking victory once again. So congratulations, Kate Courtney. Congratulations, Jennifer Jackson. Look at this battle coming in again, diving on the inside. 3rd, 4th, 5th, all up for grabs. Those are all podium spots. Waiting to be able to see what's going to happen. This is our replay that we saw where Kate Courtney dove on the inside there to be able to get herself in that winning position, because you have the downhill. You really can't make up that much ground on a downhill sprint. And so Kate Courtney coming to the front right there. And this is going to be Gwendolyn Gibson picking this up, which will be unofficially 3rd spot for Gwendolyn Gibson as she's still racing for Trek Factory Racing Pirelli. Congratulations for Gwendolyn. And there's a sprint 4th and 5th all the way to the line. Who's it going to be? Looking down at the line. Bike throw, but I'm going to be giving that Marin Lowe picking up that right in front of Madigan Monroe. So congratulations once again, Live Factory Racing and Trek Factory Racing.
She comes out of her cleat right there. I'm not here. This is the sprint for the win by Kate Courtney just now. But just there, that race for 4th and 5th, Lowe actually came out of her pedal, was able to get clipped back in and sprint her way into 4th. Both those athletes, though, going to round out our top 5. Podium awards for this. Our next race action scheduled for 4 p.m. So maybe, Frankie, about 4:15, we'll get our podium awards for both our U23 elite women.
Oh, yeah, there's that pulling out of that foot and being able to clip back in and start going again. Whew.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. That can be dangerous, man, because you're putting all that effort and you're leaning so far over the handlebars, it can throw you a lot of times right off the front of the bike.
Yeah, good recovery for sure.
Very good recovery. Yep. Yeah, pro women, we'll try to do your podium right about 4:15. Again, pro women podium top 5. We'll try to do that at 4:15.
With the U23 as well.
And we'll do U23 podium as well. Still waiting for our some of our top 5 to be able to come in. I think we've only had one of our under 23 come in so far.
Great move there again on the replay. There it is. There's the move of the day by Kate Courtney on the inside in that Stonehenge feature right here at Centennial Park. Again, this is the story here. This is the narrative. Time and time again, this venue sets up for some incredible sprint finishes. So for race fans from cross country to cyclocross, this is the place to watch a race.
Hey, nice job. Congratulations, Makina Killerman making it back in. And
looks like Maya Dixon on her way in with Dirt Camp. Going to be coming across the line, wrapping up her race. Bailey Siopa coming into that elite women's race. Looks like she's going to round out maybe our top 15. No, correction, sorry. Top 10, finishing 7th there. Was looking at her race plate, not her finisher number. So, again, Frankie, everything I say, officially, unofficial. Great look at the group. I mean, we're here on a Thursday. I mean, what a great day to come out. Again, Bluebird Day here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. See a lot of people maybe skipping out on work a little bit early today to watch some elite racing, cross-country racing right here in the States. I imagine these crowds are only going to grow as the weekend continues. Tomorrow, short track action. Some of my favorite style of racing. It's fast and furious for 20 flat-out miles. And tomorrow we actually combined all of our amateur athletes and our professional athletes on one day. So it's a big day of racing. We'll have most of the athletes will be in the venue at one time is tomorrow. So big day of racing on the schedule. Everybody represented from, as early as 11 and 12-year-olds up and through our elite riders.